What's going on, guys? Mike Murtis, Gamer Logic here, and today we are talking about the PlayStation VR headset. This is not something I expected to be reviewing, to be absolutely honest with you. You know, when Sony announced this, I was head first into a couple of different development projects for the Oculus Rift DK2, doing some music compositions for it. By the time I was done with all my Oculus Rift DK2 experiences, I wasn't super impressed. It wasn't easy to set up. It wasn't easy to maintain. It ended up being kind of a huge pain in the ass. So when it came time to decide, you know, am I going to dip my toe into doing more projects with the Oculus Rift or kind of just let it go and have no real interest in playing it or keeping it, I decided to let it go. So I ended up selling it. When Sony announced their headset, I thought, well, you know, that's cool, but based on my experience with Oculus Rift, I don't think VR is really going to be a thing. I'm not interested in picking one up, and that was that. Now, 2 weeks ago, the reviews for this headset started coming in, and most of the reviews, maybe kind of harsh. A little harsh. Some had like a C minus, some had 70%, 80%. Not a lot of high reviews in those initial 2-week reviews. Now, I haven't seen recent reviews for it, so I don't know what the general consensus is. I didn't want to read any more into it after I received this headset because I really wanted to try to base my own opinion on it. That being said, I had no intention of buying this thing. I wasn't interested in it, and when I was told I would be receiving one, I didn't expect to be impressed. And I will tell you from the get-go that after having a couple days with this thing, I am very impressed with it. And I'll go into detail on that, obviously. But let's talk about the headset itself and my experience with the setup. Now, I was sent the core unit because I did have a PlayStation Eye camera that I bought on the release of PS4. Didn't really use it much. And these Move controllers, well, they went into clearance mode not too long ago. And I was able to pick up the Move charging station, the nunchucks, the Sony equivalent to the nunchucks, and obviously the Move remotes for very cheap. I think for my entire 2-player Move setup, I maybe spent like $20. So I was glad I held on to these things because Sony opted to use this technology again, and I'll talk more about that as well. So when I was sent the headset, I popped it open. My first thoughts was, man, this looks kind of cheap. I don't know about this thing. Is it going to stay sturdy? Is it going to break on me? So far, so good as far as the build goes. I actually like the fact that it is mostly plastic, and that for the padding, it has more of like this carbon rubber feel to it, rather than the Oculus Rift DK2's kind of just regular carpety fiber to it. That thing attracted cat fur like crazy, and when I ended up selling the thing, I ended up having to take a lint roller and just keep going to the fabric to get all that cat fur out. It was kind of disgusting, to be honest with you. This being in a house with 4 cats hasn't gotten too dirty and actually looks pretty good. It's easy enough to wipe off. Now, as far as the comfort for the headset itself, it is very comfortable. I like it a lot better than the Oculus Rift DK2. The fact that I can put this thing on, I can hit a button and pull the visor away from my face very easily, makes it another versatile headset over the Oculus Rift. If you need to look at your phone for something, or if you need to find a controller, it's easy enough to hit this button right here and have the headset go in or go out. Now, I will say that the first time I put this on, I kind of had a hell of a time doing it because I was like, what am I supposed to press? What am I supposed to tighten? Basically, what you do is you have the headset, you hit this makes it pull out, and then you actually have a tightening rod here, tightening knob, I should say. And then all you do is you just kind of use your thumbs to push back the band. And again, you want to try to keep the cord out of there. Put it on, and then you hit this, and it adjusts to your comfort level pretty easily. Now, with the Oculus Rift, I could never really find the sweet spot in order to get it calibrated for like clear text and clear graphics. This I don't have as big of an issue with. I was able to keep clear with it pretty easily. It didn't fog up too much when I was using it, and again, just super impressed with this, definitely over the Oculus Rift. Now, is this sturdy enough to handle regular use? That I don't know, and I will say that I do get a little worried about it every once in a while when I am pressing this button and moving this back. If you had enough pressure on this thing, you could probably snap it, where the advantage of the Oculus Rift was the fact that it was a band. You put it on your head and it's good to go. But this just sits on the head a lot easier, and it's very nice in that aspect. Nice and compact. Setup as far as plugging your headset into the PS4 isn't too bad. It took me 10 minutes. I actually cleaned up some wires in the process while I'm doing it. The little black box processor unit that you get with the thing isn't too big of a mess. It's, again, a little easier to maintain than trying to set up an Oculus Rift on your PC, especially if you're in a multi-monitor environment. It's easy enough to plug your PlayStation into the box with HDMI and then plug your TV into this box and you're good to go. It actually made plugging in a capture card to the PlayStation 4 even easier because I didn't have to go behind my TV and plug in the HDMI cable there. So not too bad. Would it have been cool if they could do wireless? Absolutely. It's not too big of a deal with the cord. If I do have a major complaint though, you do have to use USB to power one portion of the unit, and with the lack of USB ports in the back of the PlayStation 4, I believe there's only one, you have a lot of wires hanging out in the front of your entertainment center, which I don't like. I try to keep that as clean as possible. But, you know, maybe the PlayStation 4, what is it, is it the Pro? PlayStation 4 Pro maybe has more USB ports in the back. Maybe you could invest in a hub and get that out of the way. I don't know, but overall, not bad. The setup isn't too bad at all. So as far as setup and just general headset use itself, and in terms of plastic, I do recommend it. For the most part, I am impressed. So I've tried a slew of different games for the PlayStation VR itself, and as far as overall graphics quality goes, to me it's pretty comparable to the Oculus Rift DK2. Now granted, I was using a developer kit. I was using it on a PC at the time that wasn't super top tier, probably mid-ground, and I will say that the PlayStation 4 VR headset is very comparable to what I saw with my own hardware, my own PC hardware, on the Oculus Rift DK2. Some of the different games I played were very, very clear. They looked great. Yeah, they looked better on the TV, but not really a big deal to me. That is one of the sticking points in many of the reviews, that a lot of people said it just is really low quality. It looks blurry, and I was fairly impressed with it. I think as far as a headset goes that you can just plug and play into a console and you're good to go, it looked pretty damn good to me. Obviously, if they continue to support this, then I'm sure we'll see a PSVR 2 and on and on and on with better capabilities as it becomes available. But graphics quality wise, I didn't have much of an issue with it. I thought it looked clear enough and good enough to me to really take me out of reality. So why don't we talk some games that I played and what my general thoughts are on some of them, as far as what to avoid and what to pick up if you're interested in getting a PlayStation VR. Now, first off, the core version of the PlayStation VR does come with the PlayStation VR demo disc. It has Eve Valkyrie, Drive Club VR, Riggs Mechanized Combat League, Battlezone, Headmaster, Wayward Sky, Until Dawn Rush of Blood, PlayStation VR Worlds, which I'll get more into that, and Tumblr VR. Now on this disc was a really great way to test what was out there and what you should or shouldn't pick up. It gives you just enough of a taste to do that. Eve Valkyrie was actually a game that I was kind of on the fence about and wasn't sure if I was going to get a chance to play, but I actually enjoy it. Being a big Star Wars fan and playing X-Wing and TIE Fighter like crazy back in the day, this felt awesome. Now, my other experience with Space Sims would be Elite, and I did play that on the Oculus Rift. I prefer this. It has a little bit more action to it. It's more action-oriented than it is really exploring a galaxy. Now, granted, this is a multiplayer game. It does have some single-player content, but as far as how it looked, how it played, super smooth. It was great looking around the cockpit and being like, oh my god, I'm in space. You put the headphones on and you get blasted out of that magnetic tunnel, and I thought it looked great. This is probably going to make me get a PS Plus account. I still need to get one. I had one for a while and it disappeared. Next up is Drive Club VR, and this was another demo on the demo disc, and I have the full version of this as well. I played a couple different racing games on Oculus Rift DK2, and while I was impressed with them, they didn't look really great. Drive Club VR looks amazing. Does it look as great as the original Drive Club? No, but still, I was able to get in my car, I was able to look around and be impressed at the visuals, and it was smooth, super smooth. And that is another thing that is very important about this VR headset being on a console that can only provide so much power. The developers have to get a steady frame rate in, otherwise it's going to make you sick. They can't have the frame rate drop. They really have to work on this, where compared to a PC environment, if your video card doesn't cut it, then you're going to have a poor experience, you're going to have low frame rates, and stuff isn't going to look great, and you're probably going to get nausea because you don't have a consistent frame rate. You don't really have to worry about that from what I've seen on the PlayStation VR so far. I would say that the games are probably running at 30 frames per second. Don't quote me on that, but it's at least 30 frames. I had no nausea, I had no issues playing Drive Club VR, and it was a lot of fun, definitely fun. Riggs Mechanized Combat League. We'll just call it Riggs because I keep butchering the saying here. I wasn't super impressed with Riggs. You know, I like mech combat games, but this just really didn't do it for me. Very generic arena kind of combat. But not much to say there. It looked okay. I wasn't really into the whole using your head to control the gun thing. I have neck problems, so I can see myself being in a lot of pain afterwards. Then I would have to take a muscle relaxer. That wouldn't be good. Battlezone, a remake, I'm assuming, of the original Atari Battlezone. That was a super cool vector frame game back in the day. This again, just generic kind of arena combat with the demo that really didn't impress me. I could find myself picking up the full version and being bored of it very quickly. It actually turned me off of the full version. Just not a lot to it. It kind of reminded me of being in Tron, I would say, but not super impressed with it. Headmaster I didn't play, Wayward Sky I didn't play. Until Dawn Rush of Blood. I love Until Dawn on the PlayStation 4. It is probably one of my favorite adventure games, modern adventure games. Just really cool, well done, psychological horror mixed with supernatural horror, which was really cool. This is obviously not meant to be the same vein as the original Until Dawn. It borrows a lot of the assets and some of the characters. I found it really boring. I didn't think it was very scary, and I don't know, it just didn't have much of a appeal to me, and I wouldn't drop the money on it just because it was very basic for kind of this carnival roller coaster ride that really didn't seem very scary to me. Now you want to talk about something that is scary, that wow, kind of freaked me out, was the Resident Evil 7 kitchen demo for this headset. And man, it is short, but it is sweet. You find yourself tied to a chair, your partner on the floor. You wake him up by pushing a camera over. Actually, it's kind of weird looking at the camera now and thinking about that kitchen demo. But long story short, things don't go very well for you and your friend, and you are menaced by this crazy looking lady with a knife, and she gets right in your face, and you can almost feel the icy breath hitting your neck. Like, it's that real. Like, that is a level of scary that I haven't felt in media in a long time. And I was like, God, I hope I don't have nightmares after playing this. Tumble VR I did not play, so that was kind of the end of my PlayStation VR demo disc experience. But I did try another game that I don't think was listed on there, or I downloaded it, and that was, I believe it's Thumper. And that was just a cool the EDM meets res meets, I don't know. You need to check it out. I don't have any video of it, unfortunately, but get a pair of headphones and just play this thing in VR. It is a rush. It is fast. You're matching beats. You're diving through stuff. Kind of reminded me of Wipeout. Very, very cool. One of my favorites for sure on the system. Now, here's a game I haven't tried yet. I haven't had the opportunity to, but a lot of people are saying that this is kind of the killer app of the PlayStation VR, and that is Batman. I actually just picked this up today. Now, funny enough, I don't know if I get to keep the two I picked up because I may have to send this back. I'm not really sure, but everyone's saying that this is the killer app. I mean, you get to be freaking Batman, so that's kind of cool. And finally, the PlayStation VR Worlds Disc. This comes with the bundle kit that you can get that comes with the eye camera, the Move controllers, as well as the headset. This has a few different games on it. I haven't had a chance to play them all. I did play Ocean's Descent. It was kind of cool. Wish it would have had the headset, the headphones when I was playing it. I did not, but it was kind of neat. Not a lot to do in it. The VR Luge, it was okay, cool little tech demo, not super impressed with it, but to me, the reason you pick this up, or the reason you get the bundle set, is for London Heist, which is by far my favorite VR experience thus far with the Oculus Rift, with the PlayStation VR, or just with VR, period. The PlayStation demo disc had a quick demonstration of a shooting gallery that you could play with it that I thought was really cool. And after seeing several videos out there of what was available in this London Heist, I definitely wanted to check out this PlayStation VR Worlds disc. Popping it in and going through all these different portions to stealing this diamond behind a desk and using the desk for cover as people are firing above you and in front of you and to your sides. This is awesome. You're taking the clips, you're loading it into your gun, you're cracking this safe, you're trying to figure out how to get into it, and then you're on the way out of this place. You're in a truck with your partner in crime, and you got these motorcycles, these trucks chasing you, and you're taking an Uzi, and you're just shooting out everybody. To the tires on the motorcycles, to people in SUVs. Just really cool. Man, there's just so many different elements from the setup to this thing to the very end that makes you feel like you're a gangster in London. From your boss telling you what the deal is with this little black book that has some of your job history in there and how to get you your freedom. You know, he picks up his cigar and he has you light it for him. Just all these little nuances are so cool. It really makes you feel like you're a part of the story. The action scenes are intense, and that's where these Move controllers really, really come into play well. And I think these are really underutilized. I'm like dropping everything here. I think these are really underutilized. They work really, really well. To me, they work better than the Wii or Wii U stuff. And this is pretty old technology, folks. I was very impressed with how good the tracking worked on this with the camera. I had no issues reloading. I had no issues shooting. A lot of people have reported tracking issues with their PlayStation iToy. Is it the iToy? I think this is the iCamera and their VR headset. I have not had many tracking issues at all. I thought it was actually pretty smooth. I had no judder issues where the headset kind of shakes for no reason. Super smooth. And again, as far as being a extension of you, these things work really, really well. Picking up an object, picking up a cigarette and smoking it, picking up a drink and drinking it, picking up an ammo clip, picking up a diamond, just manipulating the world. Work Simulator was another interesting one I had fun with, and people have complained that that's kind of a dumbed down version versus the Oculus Rift. I still enjoyed it, and these things work really, really well. Again, just a nice extension of your physical view. Things tracked very well with it. And that's the whole thing that I guess you really got to boil down to, is everyone will say that the Oculus Rift is better and the Vive is better. But for someone who's already invested in a PlayStation 4 and is interested in VR, they really, really have a great opportunity to dip their toe into something without breaking the bank too much. I mean, let's face it, it is an expensive piece of equipment. But to get to a high performance level, you still got to pay what, 200, 300, 400 bucks for an Oculus Rift. You have to have the video card that can handle it. You have to have the games that can handle it. You have to have the memory. You have to have the processor. That adds up really quick. And that's actually something that I was looking into, was beefing up this PC or building a new one. And I was at the point where, like, man, it is going to cost me just 400 bucks for a processor that's going to kick a whole bunch of ass. Now, granted, will it last longer than most other consoles? Sure, but still, it's a lot of money to invest. So, I guess overall, for me personally, this is a very, very, very awesome piece of equipment. If you're interested in getting into VR, if you've had interest into getting this thing, I would say go for it. It's a fun experience. It's a smooth experience. I have had no issues with any major nausea, a little dizziness here and there, but you get used to it after a while. The price isn't too bad for it. And again, it's so easy to plug and play this thing, and you're off to the races. You don't have to worry about, oh God, which HDMI output do I need to plug my Oculus Rift in? And oh no, it doesn't like multiple monitors. And oh no, I can't get it into direct mode. I have to do the virtual monitor thing with the Oculus Rift. I ran into all of that stuff during the development of a couple of the projects I worked on with the Oculus Rift DK2, and it was a pain in the ass. This you plug in, you turn it on, and you're ready to rock, which is awesome. So overall, should you pick up the PlayStation VR headset? I think I've already said it 3 times. If you're interested in it, I would definitely pick it up. As far as Sony continuing to support the VR headset, well, Sony has a bad track record with that stuff, and that would probably be my only worrisome piece of advice to give you guys if you are interested in it. Let's face it, Sony tries some new stuff and they don't always support it. So there is the inherent risk of that this thing may go the way of the PlayStation 3D TV that was clearanced out to holy hell when that didn't sell very well. Or it could go the way of the PlayStation Vita, which was a great piece of hardware, but Sony's execution on it was very, very poor, and it ends up disappearing off store shelves for the most part, which is really sad because that is a great portable console. This thing has opportunity written all over it. The hardware is there right now. The performance is there right now. The main thing is, like any video game system and any piece of accessory that comes out with a video game system, is great games. And if they can lock studios down into producing great VR-based games, then this thing is secure and is probably going to have a good stake in the VR market. Is VR going to take over the mainstay for video games altogether? I still don't think so. I think the player, just like me, who would like to turn on his console, play with a regular controller, is always going to be there. That's what we've encountered with the Wii. That's what we've encountered with the Wii U. You always want to get back to basics. But when you want something unique, when you want something interesting, this is the way to go. It's easy to use. It's a fun 15 to 30 minutes to an hour thing that you can experience depending on how much VR you can handle. You can put it away and then you're done, and then you can come back to it later. I can't see myself playing games for hours and hours and hours and hours on this thing. I really can't. But for those small experiences, I think the price is still worth it. So overall, that is my review of the PlayStation VR helmet, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you ended up picking one up, leave a comment and tell us what games you liked and what games you didn't like. And if you'd like to see some more VR reviews, let me know and I will see what I can come with. Thanks for watching this review, guys. Take it easy.